Mm, mm, mm. Welcome, welcome, man, to another edition of Live on Sunday, man. It is I, your gracious host, King Crowder, back again with another edition of what we do every week. We chop it up, we have a good time, we talk about the week's events. Number one, we mentally prepare for the week coming up. If you did not know, I'm your host, King Crowder, man. It is such an honor to be here with you again. Comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. It's good to be here with you, man. What we love to do is, number one, we reflect. We talk about the upcoming week. We speak about things that go on, and we give an honest and strong take on what things we see happen in this country. If you're new here, what it do? If you're returning, what up? I'm excited. I'm excited. Chop it up with you, man. Today's subject is you reap what you sow. Today's subject is titled, You Reap What You Sow. It's not fun to talk about these type of things, man. It's not. But I want you to understand life is filled with consequences. Men, women, children, what you do, what mistakes you may make, what may happen to you when you have a moment in your life. There's consequences behind it. And this is the part where we got to be uncomfortable, but we got to talk about it. Today's main topic is, man, if you have not seen the news this week, there's two major things going on. Actually, three. We had the Abercrombie and Finch CEO. We had the little Durk situation. And we also have a presidential debate that we all need to chop it up and tie it up with. So let me dive in first, man. Upcoming week, we had a phenomenal week, man. Had a lot going on. It was fun. Boy looking fresh again, right? Had to get a bounce back ever since the trip, and I ain't had a haircut. I got to do anything because work been all over your boy, but it's very good to be back in some sort of way. Feels good just to be back, man. Self-care is the best care. Also having fun with your loved ones and friends. Making sure you can spend time and do what you want to do. It was good to see, your lady get her own group of friends now. Actually went over to Beaumont. It was pretty good to go a different change of place. If you don't know, Beaumont is east outside of Houston, one of the suburbs. Got to fly, go chill out there, man. Got to go to a Halloween party. Got to check out other venues and festivities, man. It was just dope to see all that stuff happen this week. As we go into our weeks, as you see lessons happen, it's important to, number one, understand the ramifications happen to us all. The story of Lil Durk. Lil Durk is a guy born inside Chicago, right? What people don't understand is that his story is very similar to many Black American boys. What we don't talk about is that we are graded more harshly off consequences we make. Not saying some of us don't deserve it, but we are saying you are seeing what happens when you're trying to pick a lane. Lil Durk's situation is well documented. He's from Chicago. Father was incarcerated in the streets, trying to make a way for himself, but he had talent, musically gifted. Lil Durk has been around for a while, most people don't know. I remember Lil Durk when I was in college at Hampton, and he performed inside of our student center. The reason why that's so monumental to me, I've seen his progression grow. He has been consistent, steadily forecasting. He has reinvented himself multiple times. He's changed up his image. He's changed up his flow, his style. He's at the pinnacle point of what his career is supposed to be. 12 years worth of work, we are starting to see the fruits of his labor. He has been active in the music game well over 10 years. He ain't no rookie. He's a veteran who has re-imaged himself and re-energized himself towards the younger fan base. But Lil Durk is my age. And as someone that has gone through each phase of manhood, you got to understand every phase of manhood is different. Between the ages of high school, you don't know what you're doing. You're just trying to have fun. From that 18 to 25, it's girls, it's money, it's what you see, it's popularity, it's status, it's what you're chasing. From that age of 28 to about 35 is when you try to get yourself solidified. After 35, you'll mentally see yourself start to develop. That's when you start to see your life coming together. He was starting to see his life come together, but he still had his street homies. What most people don't understand is that your street homies are good. I am not one of them people that don't believe the street homies are bad. I know some people be like, oh man, the streets will leave them alone. Nah. The streets have their purpose. The streets have always been in our culture. If you ever saw Malcolm X, you saw Bumpy Johnson. If you ever saw Martin Luther King, you saw the Southern Gang. If you ever seen one of our conscious movies or efforts into our history, you saw the street element protecting each other. They've always been intertwined. The problem we have right now is we're separated. You have street cats and upper echelon guys that have no verbal communication. There is no lines. There's no guidelines. There is no, hey, I'm doing this. You can help me. I'm going to help you. You doing this. You can do this. You can help me. That's where the lines get blurred now. What we saw with Lil Durk is the lines getting blurred. The talent should never be giving out structures to the street cat. The street cat should never be on wax doing what the talent is doing. The lines must be separated. If you are separated, you have your purpose. What's your purpose? I know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. No offense. Your lane is your lane. That is your world. You dominate in that. What I'm here to be is to help you, guide you, and tell you, hey, stay away from this. Hey, if you do something for this, I may got your back. I'll make sure you got a soft landing, taking care of your family and stuff, and make sure you straight. And vice versa. If I need you to help me with something that maybe need to be done, we help each other. But what we never do is we got to understand the codes, the ethics, and the morals that go behind it. You got to understand that the brain that's going to help us sacrifice and give us money, you got to protect it too. You got to understand that your word is law, and what we agree and we say to each other must have a meaning. Without that meaning, what are we? Without that purpose, what do we have? It has to be an ethical code. It has to be a mutual understanding with each other so we know whatever we're working on is the main thing. You know, the real tragedy of all this case is this. The kids. Durk, all the OTF members, they all have children. While we going through this part, talking about somebody being incarcerated, somebody going through things, what we don't realize is, man, they all got families. And when you got families and children, I want every man to understand this, man. Kids don't care about your money. They care about seeing their daddy. They care about being around their daddy. They caring about the families they make. I don't care how much money you got as a man or do not have. Time is how you love your children. To our Durk, his Kareem, NBA, his team, Vaughn, his team, they without their father. Let me hit that again. They lose their father. The father is the leader of their household, who they aspire, their organizer, the person that's going to take their children into marriage, the leadership, the organization, the structure. That's what's gone. So when we talk about Black families, we got to understand that when we lose men, we lose the head of those families. How many children do they have in total? 10, 9, 12, 13. Just think about that. That's 13 Black families that lose the head of their household. Those are 13 families that were once above a certain line that have to go back. Those are 13 families that lose a producer, a structure, an organizer, somebody that's providing income. That is what is being attacked. When we talk about men, how much our responsibility is so different, we got to understand once a leader of his family dies, no matter if we agree or we support with it, that Black family is being hurt. That family that was once living this type of lifestyle now has to sacrifice what they do. Now, he got to pay his consequences. He got to pay his debt. He was wilding, of course. But how deep we got to get, y'all, the reason why the man portion is so important is that you realize, man, it's my legacy. They're the one that's most affected. I'm going to be incarcerated. I'm going to be put away. Ain't nobody going to see me no more. But my children are still here. They got to live in this world. They ain't got me. And not having you as a man is the most important thing. Father never had the most money, but he gave me him. I idolize the man. Who is that man? Who is symbolizing each other? That's the most important. My street guys, I want you to understand that what the most valuable resource that you have is you. You is what cannot be replaced. You and your energy and your effort you provide cannot be duplicated. You and the legacy for your family can never be multiplied. Money can't fill that void. Counseling can't fill that void. People that you work with, a therapist, anybody can't fill that void. Mama can't fill that void. Only daddy can. I'm a street guy's son. And as the product of a street family and a street son, we need you. We need you imperfectly. We need you not with your stuff together. We need you broke. We need you tired. But we need our daddies. If we want more strong sons, we need more strong fathers. And that is the number one tragedy. Of course, what he did was awful. Of course, he's going to get his time. Of course, everything that he did, he's going to get that back. But to me, listen and watch how many kids he got. How many women? Now, what they going to do? He ain't got to think like how I'm thinking, but that is the street pathology. Now, his family have to revert back to street life, street crime, street activity. And they never let that producer's energy again. The story of your Durk, we see it all around this country. But the more we watch it, the more it's sad. So I'm going to give y'all a live and active video because I do believe vulgar variety, examples, and things are worth 1,000 words. So let's watch it. Let's team up and hear from another street guy's perspective.
Nobody win. Lil Durk had a successful career. One thing about the feds, those ain't people you play with. I done been to feds. When I got locked up, they told me I have a U.S. Marshal hold. I said, what's a U.S. Marshal hold? I used to watch the movie U.S. Marshal, so I'm like, somebody put a one on me and another, like, I ain't know what it was. When they came and got me, that white lady said, you going to the Richard B. Russell building. I said, what's that? She said, you going to the feds. The feds, baby, I ain't got no money to be going to no feds. Feds for the rich and I'm a poor nigga from the neighborhood. They don't mean nothing. They don't mean nothing. See, everybody be trying to glorify this street stuff. What y'all fail to realize is the streets don't love you back. The people in the street don't love you back. You know what I mean? All this stuff just a front. You feel what I'm saying? Man, listen, man. See, I be trying to show mercy, but a real person can read through my activities, my actions. Let me tell you something. You see how all these blogs go to posting? Negativity. The blogs, we get convicted before we get convicted before we even go to court. Because what they do, they put us on all these blogs and saying, oh, we did this, we did that. So now the jury see this stuff. Because you never know who's going to be on the stand. You never know who the jury going to be. The jury see this stuff before. Man, I keep telling y'all, man, then what you say out your mouth is very powerful. It comes back. People fail to realize that, like, we see it, we like, yeah, we speak it, yeah. But when it happens, we like, dang, boy, it really happened. All right, once you spoke something to exist, you should see that stuff is real. Be careful what's coming out your mouth. This is why I don't do music, because it's self-incriminating. That's the only thing they're gonna sell. They tricks us to tell how we operate. Let's say we get a scam going on, right? And we make a lot of money off the scam. Instead of us shutting up about it and keep making a lot of money, you know what I mean? Get out of it. We want to brag about it. We want to talk about it so they can hear. So now we don't taught them how to catch us, but get mad because somebody else don't say it. Yeah, them who did. If you never talked about it, we would never got caught. Because we taught them how to catch us. We teach them how to get us. That's why they okay with us doing music. Because we ran our mouth too much.
Wow. And you know the reason why I love showing stuff like that? That is somebody that's actively in the case right now. You may not know him, but that's the one that's involved in the YSL case in Atlanta. He's one of the ones that was an active associate of them. And what he said in oh so many words is that the power of the tongue, you reap what you sow, it's not a joke. It's not. I've never been incarcerated personally, but have I had homeboys that do time? Have I seen a court case? Have I seen somebody get off from billing, battling the struggle? Have I seen my other problem people happen? I have. And you know what I learned from it? It's real. What you choose to fight, the energy you choose to be around, the things, the honor, the words you see truly can hurt you, man. And I know we don't take it as such. I know we don't think about it how it should be. But what we got to understand is that even though we see these things in life, man, stories really mimic us. And the reason why I say that's so powerful is because one thing I say that nobody else is talking about, Little Durk is symbolic of the drill era being finished. Drill rap will never be funded again. It won't. Drill rap is officially over with because people are starting to sue back. If you haven't seen it earlier on, FBG, Duck's mom is actually suing Little Durk. Why is it so big? Because they're going to attach the label onto their necks. They were glorifying their artists and people being killed. They were making songs about it. We're going to see the gangster, the drill era of hip-hop officially gone. If you are a street artist and you're making street music, you better change up. You better change up because your genre will not be accepted. What you rap about, what you talk about, dissing on record, is over with. You better learn how to make love songs. You better learn how to make sad songs. You better learn how to progressively be an artist because the gangster records, I'm going to give you 3 years. 0 sales, 0 push, 0 momentum. Because these cases are going to stop finding the artists as well as the labels. We may not know how small of a victory it is, but in the grand scheme of things, the voice, as Lil Durk calls himself, the prime is over. The voice of the streets, the vocals of the streets, the street strong, the street edge, it's done. It is a huge gesture of why he's going to federal court. Let's not remember, the streets allegedly hired gunmen to go down to California to perform an act. Allegedly. And the reason why we got to know this type of stuff is because when you hear cases like this being talked about publicly, you got to watch the results of it. So I'm going to let you hear it from somebody else's point of view too.
They had wiretaps, Durk allegedly trying to clean up the people he think might tell. Now, if that...
What do you mean by clean up?
Okay.
That can be taken a few different ways.
No, they saying they got wiretaps, allegedly, that Durk is saying, get these people out the way.
Damn.
Now, that's the case. We have a murder for hire, which carries life, attempted murder for hire, because Quando's in the back seat.
And that was the intended target, by the way, Quando.
And whatever conspiracies for however many people he may have mentioned, right, was not going to help him is the confusion he tried to of him, his travel. He had one flight going to Dubai, one flight going to Switzerland, but then he had a PJ
Go to Italy, I think.
going to Italy.
Yeah.
Right? All booked different places, but all of these require your passport.
And you know why that's so crazy when you see stuff like that, y'all? People don't understand that now you become a risk of fleeing forever. No bond. That means you really living out what you're saying. And remember, these are in California. They have a gun, enhanced gun laws. enhance gang activity, enhance gun ordinance, all of that stuff. My prediction, Durk need to go ahead and tell you. You a millionaire, bro. You ain't no street cat. No bosses do time. All bosses talk. All rats go to prison. I know he don't want to be the joke like 6ix9ine, but in actuality, that's the only way you're gonna be able to see your kids. Life means life. No opportunity of getting out. 5 years with the opportunity of getting out and doing something gives you that time and effort. I think he has a much better fitting being the leader of his family, what he's doing, to take that route than to take it to trial. If you take it to trial, it's a 0% chance you getting out, bro. I know I'm street. I know I'm the voice. I know I would never do that. But you're a grown man now with children. My bold prediction, he telling it. He telling it. Final thoughts. Do what's best for your family, bro. Ego to the side, pride to the side. If you can't shake the trenches and where you come from, it's going to get you. I'm going to let one young lady summarize up for you too before I move it on to my next case that I think is extremely important.
TikTok, what's the word, y'all? Come on, tap in. Listen.
Too long of a video. I'm going to go ahead and share that next time. So, next up, you know what's really quiet and evident to me, y'all? While we on this Durk topic heavy, nobody is discussing the Abercrombie & Fitch CEO. Have everybody noticed everybody been really quiet about it? Wait a minute. A CEO of a Fortune 500 company was caught doing what? Hold on. He was caught doing what again? Let's catch it. Well, let me go ahead. Try to catch a good one.
Can somebody explain to me how Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, had sex trafficking charges, 14 sex trafficking charges, and they let him out on $10 million bail? But Sean P. Diddy Combs is still in jail. Mind you, this man was willing to put up his home, give up his passports, his family's passports, and way more money than $10 million. Same kind of charges, similar situation. Why is it that Mike Jeffries is home? Now, I'm not saying Diddy should be a free man, but what I'm saying is, how is that possible? Because I know for a fact, sex trafficking is sex trafficking. Or maybe it was the baby oil. Now, the truth of the matter is, in these type of situations, you are innocent until proven guilty. But in this case, it seems like because Diddy is who he is, he's immediately guilty. And because Mike is who he is, he could have bail and roam free. I know y'all see what I'm talking about, right?
Let's go ahead and unpack this right quick. If you did not know, Abercrombie & Fitch CEO was arrested on human trafficking charges. The same charges as Diddy. Just as harsh, just as penalty, doing the same behavior. But he got bail. He hasn't been smeared across the campaign. His houses, his things have not been raided. His passport has not been taken. A CEO of a Fortune 500 company. All this happened on this watch. What we need to hear, black people, is this. Everybody, we don't have a court system. I mean, we don't have a justice system. We have a court system. Diddy is a media story. Did you catch that? He's not a news story. He's a media story. Diddy is something that is being pushed because he's created a lot of enemies. Let's be frank. Diddy is egotistical ways. What he's done has created a lot of enemies. This is a media story. The news is why, as a corporate head CEO, not be in charge of why he's in his face and people being smeared all over the campaign. Why have we not seen his face anywhere? How come we can't even point him out in a room full of people? How is that? How is the CEO been arrested, but we don't know who he is? We don't know who he is. We don't know where he lives. We don't know what other charges he has going on. He's been allowed to live in the shadows. If I asked you to show me what the Abercrombie & Fitch CEO name was, what would you say? Would you know who he is? Could you know how to find him? Do you know what state he resides in? Do you know what state the charges are in? Isn't all that interesting? He got bail. He has the same type of charges, but his enemies are not as strong. Let's keep going. Comment, like, and subscribe, baby. Got another video for you.
As a former Hollister Abercrombie & Fitch model for one of the stores, this is not a surprise. In the few short months that I worked there, it was one of the worst jobs I ever had. I walked in the store one day. I got recruited by one of the managers. She would say, I like your look. I want you to go ahead and apply. I told her I have no problem doing so, but I want to work in the back. Her response shocked me. She said, well, you're too attracted to work in the back. We got to have you up front as one of the models. Does everybody in the back know y'all think they're ugly? Or is this just a secret between the managers and the models? Like, how does this work? It gets worse. Apparently, every year during the summer, which is around the time that I came in, they choose their best looking male and female model of every race from every store to try to be one of the campaign faces. Strange, I know. So I was approached for the black race and said, we want you to represent our store for the black male model. Okay. Surprise, surprise, I didn't get the role or the shot, whatever it was called, but they told me that I made the lookbook. You may ask, what is the lookbook? The lookbook is something they apparently have in every store where they teach the management what or who to look for. So if you want to recruit a black guy, he needs to look like this. So apparently my face was used for the lookbook to let people know this is what you want to find if you're going to hire a black man. How they were able to do this for years and be one of the top retail companies for years is beyond me. The little time I was there, I saw so many things that were lawsuit worthy. The only reason why I took the job is because I thought it was going to be like a laid back, simple kind of thing. No. They are obsessed with youth. They are obsessed with beauty. So there was no facial hair at all allowed for the guys. They actually had razors in the bathroom because you came in there with some peach fuzz. You had to go shave it off immediately. Girls couldn't have more than 1 or 2 piercings in their ear. They were told how to wear their hair. We had to wear flip-flops, jeans, and t-shirts year-round, no matter the temperature. And we had to spritz the perfume every 10 minutes in the store with very dim lighting. The conditions were insane for such a casual clothing line. The reason why I quit is because I had to go to the bathroom. I told the management crew on the walkie-talkies, hey, I need to go. She told me he gets off in 20 minutes, he can wait. Ooh. And that was my last day working at Abercrombie & Fitch. The pay was horrible. The hours sucked. The people were not nice, or whatever the case is. I won't even say it's because of racism. It might have just been because.
Tonight,
What we got to learn from this situation is this. We have so many businesses and we have so many red flags around us, right? We hear about practices like this. And if you wasn't around during the Abercrombie & Fitch era, it was sort of like a certain look. What do I mean is that the store was really strong. The scent was really strong and how it smelled. What their expectation, who they were marketing to, was very youthful. But the truth thing about it was they had a youthful look that they were really focused on. And hearing how this CEO went through the charges like that, I am not surprised. Think about this. We know that the charges against you have been started. We know that you were doing alleged crimes amongst people. We know that your name is in court documents. We know that you have been subpoenaed. We know that you are currently facing and under an ankle monitor. But if I ask you for his face or his name or where he lives, could you tell me? I want you to remember something, y'all. There is a difference between a news story and a media story. What we are seeing right now is we're seeing a story of a media being pushed in a narrative. This CEO face should be everywhere. He was on the Epstein list. He was on the charges. He was over here running the company while doing these corrupt things. How did he last this long? What did he do to gain this much protection? Excuse me. Why isn't his name or face being broadcast? When we talk about the color of law, we got to understand the color of media with law. You know, the one thing the media will have a problem with long term? Their biases are shown. People do not trust, especially my age and younger, y'all, media companies. They don't understand that they have lost tap with all of their audiences. Nobody listens to you. People care about the truth. We are being decentralized as a market because people are seeing in real time. This case is going on, but this guy isn't being talked about. A CEO of a company going to jail for allegedly having crimes amongst young people, and he ain't being talked about? How is he not the same thing as Diddy? How does he have a bond? How does he have this leverage? Why don't we know his face? Why don't we know his name? Why? And the reason why they can't get past it, y'all, it's completely overt. It's completely covert. And it makes it look suspicious. You don't have to be a member of the media to understand that. But what you got to understand is that in real time, these things do not help you. They actually hurt you. They actually do. And my closing thoughts. The Color of Law was a great book that you should read. We should write something called The Color of Media. Because media, attraction, buzzwords, letterheads, have a letter to it too. If you don't look a certain way, if you don't have a certain hue, certain amount of money, you don't get the same coverage and interest. That's what's wrong. And we know this. Moving on. Comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for being here so much. Have y'all not seen Dr. Polls, y'all? Kamala Harris was in Houston, Texas this weekend, and Beyonce pulled up on her. Did people pull up for Kamala Harris? Or did we pull up because Beyonce was there? Beyonce is a huge talent. We know that, y'all. She's the queen of Houston forever. We get to see her live and free. I want to know, will this translate to support and real life votes? The election is less than 2 weeks away. And man, I think it's going to be bad. I think Kamala's support, the Democrat support, has changed in my generation. The older church generation is completely different from the 40 and under Black American crowd. The Black American crowds that are younger, that have things going on, do not think, act, move, operate, and think like the younger ones. The divide, what Democrats have to do now to have that black vote they once had, is gone. Social media, the influencers, they're talking black people around. They have shown a different side of it. You know what the scariest part is? Even if you fund it now, the message can get out on other platforms. Why is this powerful? If you have not seen, you don't have to like stuff, but you got to be aware. Donald Trump was on Joe Rogan. You don't have to like GRE. You don't have to like what Joe Rogan was saying. But some of his points, you should listen to.
Do you even have a scar on your ear? You got anything on there?
I do.
What do we say? What do you got
So, right over here.
there? Oh, it's a tiny little
See,
mark.
it zicked right there.
Yeah. It healed up pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's little.
Do you even have a
Let me try to get a better one. That wasn't too funny.
Got 3 nominations in a row. Won the first time, did much better the second time. You know, I get millions of votes more the second time, and now I'm doing it a third time. And it's an incredible thing. I never get a good story. I only get bad press. Now, I will say this. It's a lot easier if you're a Democrat. If I were a Democrat,
you get a lot of positive press.
I would get a lot of positive
Yeah.
press.
No, it's
And you know what's scary about that, y'all? Even if you don't agree with that, there is only negative news about former President Trump. It makes it feel like it's overtly too much. And you got to remember, y'all, you don't have to support or like him, but what you got to do is you got to listen to both things. If the only time I see you or hear you is when you get negative press, as a black person, make you question why. It makes me wonder why. And now that we have these outlets that it may feel this way, the messaging is getting out. We got to understand his audience The younger audience, the younger white males are being galvanized by Joe Rogan. This is a huge W for him.
It's a creepy, corrupt business, and the media, to a large extent, acts as a propaganda arm for the Democratic Party.
It's not even believable.
Yeah.
I think what it proves is he can't get good press from the legacy media, and now there's this whole new thing, which are.
And I want y'all to understand something. His base, his people here talking to, believe him. Let's keep going.
The biggest mistake I made was I picked some people. I picked some great people, but you don't think about that. I picked some people that I shouldn't have picked.
That was Donald Trump telling American podcaster Joe Rogan what his biggest mistake was while president. Yes, Joe Rogan, UFC mixed martial arts commentator turned podcaster, had the former president on his show for a 3-hour interview on Friday. Joe Rogan has a lot of listeners, 17 million, and many of them are young men, a key demographic the Trump campaign is trying to.
Tariffs.
Did you just float out the idea of getting rid of income taxes and replacing it with
And I think this point right here,
tariffs?
I got to pause it right here. I don't think most people understand that he's talking about money, border, safety, and security. You don't have to like him, y'all. I want people to understand this. But you have to be aware of what people are talking about. You don't have to like his point of view. You don't have to like what he's saying. But you must acknowledge what's going on. You must acknowledge that. And what they're doing right now is springboarded his messages on what it takes to fix things.
Did you just float out the idea of getting rid of income taxes and replacing it with tariffs?
Well, okay.
Were you serious about that?
Yeah, sure. But why not? Because our country was the richest relatively in the 1880s and 1890s.
He's forgetting about one huge component, right? Let's keep going.
A president who was assassinated named McKinley. He was the tariff king. He spoke beautifully of tariffs. His language was really beautiful. We will not allow, because you cannot be voting for Kamala.
Oh, let me go back to it, y'all.
It'll keep these in 1890s. A president who was assassinated named McKinley. He was the tariff king. He spoke beautifully of tariffs. His language was really beautiful. We will not allow the enemy to come in and take our jobs and take our factories and take our workers and take our families unless they pay a big price. And the big price is tariffs. And he'd speak like that, but he was right. And then around in the early 1900s, they switched over stupidly to, frankly, an income tax. And you know why? Because countries were putting a lot of pressure on America. We don't want to pay tariffs. Please don't. They, believe me, they control our politicians. If you look at the kind of numbers that these guys make then and now, but we had a commission meeting in the I think it was 1887. Think of this problem. We were so rich. We had so much money. We didn't know what to do. So
he making up stuff now. Like I said, we gotta go into one big issue that was going on, man. During that time, remember, man, we had free labor. It was right after the Civil War. We had skilled craftsmen. Our population was low. We had low imports. We were mostly invested in America. Of course, that we got to remember how things work at that time of the economy and economy we live in now. So our tax rate and different things we got going on where he's speaking about ways to grow the economy. But we got to keep in mind that thinking that once was doing right now, I don't know if it'll translate, but I want to give something to him. What he's doing is talking about economic issues. The economy, security, inflation, those are buzz issues that I got to give him for tackling. You ain't got to like it. But when you're talking about policy and what you're going to do to fix things, people care about that right now. People care about that right now, y'all, because I know everybody rich. I know everybody rich. Everybody ain't struggling. Everybody make over $100,000 a year. I get it. But for the people that don't, you better listen to somebody going to have a plan for it. And what is their plan?
They set up a blue ribbon commission on tariffs. And the sole purpose is what to do with all the money we had. We were so rich because we were taxing other people for coming in and taking our jobs. And China does it. That's what China did. If you want to open a factory and sell cars, if you build a factory here or have a factory, they don't take our cars. They wouldn't take our cars. But if you build a plant in China, you can do that. Elon did that. By the way, Elon is great. That guy is such a great guy. I think you're a fan of
I love
Elon.
him.
He is tariffs. It'll
Did
keep
you just
companies.
float out the idea of
And we got to say something else, man, is that when we see what's going on, people are speaking more about it. Let's go ahead and listen.
Did y'all catch that epic interview that Joe Rogan did with your boy Donald J. Trump tonight on the Joe Rogan podcast? I don't care what you think about Donald Trump, but I guarantee you that that interview alone will go down in history as one of the greatest of all times. All right.
Now, let me go ahead and start something. When I speak about why does the economic or policy issues matter, people right now don't care about the vibe test. They don't care about so much social issues. Social issues are important, right? But right now, policy, actual growth plans, actual policy-driven economy are going to win. We had the change. We're going to make this positive thing happen during the Obama campaign, former President Obama. What Obama did, in my opinion, y'all, was hurt Kamala Harris. He did. He hurt Kamala Harris because he did not be the man of his word and follow up on the things that he wanted to do. What he said was, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make change. And very few things he did would be to help, number one, Black Americans who supported him the most and add value to this economy. So what they did during the Obama presidency, y'all, going back to title, you reap what you sow. Kamala Harris is a different version of Barack Obama. She's a hotshot candidate. She's coming out of here. Her support, her money's behind her. But one thing she does not have is that President Obama had a clean slate. He had that ability to have Black people fall in line because they wanted to see that. Black people are no longer in line with having a Black candidate. Black Americans under the age of 40 want to see policy-driven initiatives. Black Americans have an ideological conflict with older ones. The older generation wants to see gestures. The younger ones do not want to see that. They want tangibles. They want real things. They want things of substance that are going to happen to them. Politically astute mindedness are real. They are not influenced by TV. They are not influenced by the church. They're not influenced by Black Americans that are well-to-do. They're actually the most separated I've ever seen. Many Black men do not go to church. Many young Black couples do not go to church. Right now, if you want to meet them, you must have some sincere-based initiatives. You must listen to who they listen to. You must talk the way they talk. You must speak their language. This is the first time in history in over 50 years that you got to change and go by a different playbook. The playbook that was ran for the past 20 to 30 years on the civil rights and older generation does not work. What you must have is a different base initiative. You must have a grassroots foundational support system that is going to speak about these Black issues and American-based issues publicly. If not, you will continue to lose. Candidates like Donald Trump are understanding this. That's why he's focusing on the policy, the economic mission, the growth, how we're going to tackle this, how we're going to tackle inflation, how we're going to grow this economy, how we're going to do this, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. You hear the same thing over and over. He's going to win because of that. My bold prediction is this. Unless some sincere policy-based initiatives happen, he's going to win the landslide. I'm around this great country, y'all. And as I'm around this great country, I see firsthand. I do. I see love for Trump. I see people with the signs. I see them voting. I see the early voting numbers. If you have not seen in places like Texas where the old and early numbers are crazy, that man's support is real. You ain't got to like it. You ain't got to feel it. You ain't got to go by the vibes check. But I'm telling you right now, I see it. The streets are telling you openly how they feel. Now, we can't place it all on VP Harris' steps, but she was in office with him. President Biden has a bad name in these streets. And until you understand and you move accordingly, they have to revamp everything they're going to do. In my opinion, you can no longer win elections with Black votes that way. You can't. Until you make that change, until you make that sacrifice, until you understand the way that was formerly won is not going to happen. That's when you first understand, okay, I got to make a change. I got to make a change. And once you see the change start to happen, you'll better move accordingly. As you move accordingly, you'll think accordingly. You'll update your voting. You'll target younger speaking media, younger speaking actions. But right now is a pivotal period. The election of 2024 will become a reoccurring cycle if you do not adjust accordingly. The way you communicate is no longer successful. The older generation and younger generation are spread apart. You hear it from me. My bold prediction for the election, Trump will win. Locally, state, federal, we got to focus on next. The same momentum we had in local to state elections, we got to have in the local, the primaries, and other things going on. That's what your focus should be on. National election, big, wide spectacle, we see it. The local elections deserve just as much focus, just enough sensitivity, just enough things going on. Next, this is my sports time, man. And number one, I gotta say something, man. As much as you may not like Coach Prime, as much as you may not respect his visions, you may have an opinion. As much as you might not like his thoughts, his swagger, whatever he goes about it, the results are endless. You can think what you want to think. You can feel how you want to feel. You can move how you want to move. But right now, what we see about Coach Prime is legendary. So, a video is worth 1,000 words. Let me go ahead and share you my quick 2 searches I found about Coach Prime.
We ain't thinking about the playoffs right now, right? We go one game at a time. We don't even want to be ranked. Don't rank us, please. We don't like that. We rather be at the back in the dark, just chilling in the cut. We good. We cool. We straight. All right. So don't rank. Don't feel pressure to rank. We good. We're good. I promise you, everybody. We are straight.
You got to tell me, like, not being in the Heisman conversation, you can't give me the cliche answer. How does it make you feel realistically?
It's a lot. It's a lot of feelings that go into that. But I feel like if it's out of us, you got to think they're not gonna give 2 players on the same team. You get what I'm saying? Me and Trav. They're just deal with it's not gonna happen like that, So it is what it is. I don't really look too deep into that. I just want Travis to win, of course, and that will be almost like I won because I threw the ball. So.
Great answer, man. And let me go ahead and play with Mo.
Good job. Great job. I'm not happy with the way we ended. I'm not happy with the way we landed. I'm not happy with the way we finished because we better than that. Proud of the victory, but we better than that, aren't we? Yes, sir. All right. Now, for our best fan ever. She's suffering from COVID right now, so she couldn't make it, which
he was dedicating to the fan, but I want him to see something else too. One more.
He was tripping a little bit at first. He was a little sensitive. I'm gonna say he was a little sensitive because he didn't get what he wanted. But with us, you gotta earn it, right? Everything we get right here, you gotta do what? Earn it. We don't give you nothing. Because if we give it to you, we can take it back from you. But if you earn it, it's yours, right? So he has just kept his head down and just earned it. Don't flinch, you don't trip. He just go out there and give 100% in practice as well as the game. So I just felt obligated going into this bye week to bless him. Okay? Yes, sir.
All night, early morning.
You know the reason why they don't like Coach Prime, y'all? He represents a change. Coach Prime is going to make every coach step up the game. He is a disruptor. He is Apple. He is taking the coaching profession and doing this. Let me do it again. Coaching was once like this. Coach Prime is doing it like this. Everything that was once done is being changed. The way the coach looks, the way you talk, the media, the savviness, the cockiness, the conversation, the impact, what you want to see, what you want to bring to the field, the messaging, the way you have to take care of yourself, the dating, the engagement. He's making coaches be better. Why is that uncomfortable? Because if I'm a coach setting my ways and I've been doing it this way, who says I have to change? He does. You know why he does? Because he's going to continue to win that way. Kids will no longer accept the old dog's guard. It's gone. If you are old dog coach and you see Coach Prime coaching the way he is, you must change. They fought him so heavy against in college football, they don't want him to win because he's going to apply more pressure to your coach. Your coach is going to have to be more sincere. Your coach is going to have to be more gifted. Your coach is going to have to be more talented. Your coach is going to have to invest in himself to connect better with the kids. He's not only building a coach factory, he's building a people factory. What he is doing is he's investing in his athletes the way they will talk about him. You know why that's scary? Because you got to be the best version of yourself. It's okay when I got to be good, but when the kids make you become the best version of yourself, that's how you win. Not just win, he gonna dominate. People looking at the record by saying, man, it ain't that impressive to be that many games a year ago. You mean a program that was there when Colorado been good, y'all. Let's keep it real, man. They ain't been good since 99. What he's doing is unheard of. And I want you to remember this. He went down to a program that wasn't good. He didn't get a well-built-up program. He didn't get a Dan Lanning wrong. He went down to build up something. He took the hard route. He followed God. I truly believe that. He listened to the mission. He grew his staff. He developed his program. They have Heisman candidate. You think that's it? You think he about to stop at this point? I think he's just getting started. It's starting to come together. That's why they fear him. They fear Coach Prime because they cannot replicate him. Just think about if he had that Texas staff. Just think about if he had the Ohio State budget. Just think about he had the access to them other programs and them other coaches the way they do. You fear what you can't stop. Your Coach Prime right now is showing, man, the coach, the build up, the investment, the being there, the loving your kids, the repping who you are. Will outlast it all. And you know why that's hard to stop? Because honestly, investing in a man is one of the most hardest stops. If you invest in a man along with the football player, you will see the growth happen all the time. Our athletes, our men, I want you to point out something. I know many athletes post-football who do not make that big wave. What's their next move? Have you ever met ex-athletes, y'all? Big, strong muscles. Many of them, not all, many have never invested in that man part. Post-athletics, which is a tremendous thing. Y'all, I am not anti-athlete. I love sports. I wish I could have been good as many of them. Post-athletics, what are you? What are you? Who are you as a man? How do you talk? How do you approach? How are you as a father? How will you read? Where's your spiritual life like? What are your financial? What are your mental? What are your capacity? The manhood journey. Where are you at in that? Where are you on your spiritual, your foundation? You must understand that you are beginning a whole new cycle. With Coach Prime, he's starting early. He says in his quotes, and I love this, I'm going to give you, you want to bring me a boy, I'm going to give you a man. Not only on the field, off the field, professionally, the way you present yourself, the way you speak. I'm going to make that boy a better person. I'm going to mold him, show him character, lead him up, work on him the right way, show him the art of what it takes to be a golden person. Why is that hard? Well, work. It requires more of you. You get late night calls, you get more work, more effort. They will have to invest in you. They will have to show that you are leading them by example. Coach Prime is showing that. Coach Prime is showing that I'm willing to take that mantle, take these children, mold them up like clay, build them into the way I can. And as I build them and develop them, they will land. How they land, what they land, and what they do will be on them. But their starting points that most athletes had at one point will be much further ahead. I want to make sure I develop them. Remember, Coach Prime is an innovator, a trailblazer, a disruptor to the coaching industry. Specifically, the most important part, your formidable college years. He's taking them, going against it, shaking it, rattling it, building them a new way. And hopefully, they develop early. I'm excited for Prime, man. I hope he wins 10 games this year. I hope he makes the playoffs. I hope he makes noise. I hope he continues to do phenomenal things. The story of Colorado and the Buffs is an awesome story. It's one of those things that you can't write, but you got to see all his glory. I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I hope Travis wins the Heisman. I hope he continues to produce and athletically break down all these records and engagements. You know what else I want to do? I want to also discuss why what a man is sowing in himself he began to see, as we discussed earlier with Lil Durk and them. The seeds that Coach Prime reaped with himself, his honesty, his transparency, his willingness to listen, his humbleness, his authenticity, his willingness to work, his willingness to listen, his willingness to be coachable, his willingness to invest in his players. We are seeing the seeds being right by the brand he's producing after me. Coach Prime, why is it such a big deal? It's a big deal because in this world that we live in, home loneliness epidemic, it's crazy. Men go through things and stuff in silence. Women, during the holidays, during the holiday season, if you ain't got nobody, who you with? Family, communion, community, all of that stuff. Our speech, our ways, our things that we go about, he's speaking about all of it. Because as much as we like to say the internet, the world is so different, it don't matter. We're all still people. Our needs, our wants, our desires, we all want somebody. We all want to make money. We all want to perform well. We all want to have activity. What Coach Prime is showing right now, ladies and gentlemen, is how he will make it happen as a family. Remember, as we get toward the end of our session, I want y'all to know that what you invest in and what you believe in really has an effect on you. And remember, I'm going to play a few things that need to be said, but they're kind of awkward. But I think they will mean something. And one is about a guy in Corton. And the number two is about outfits. It may sound crazy because it's they think I'm targeting women, but I think the message is outstanding. I do. Let me play it for you.
So now y'all mad. Y'all mad now because of what reason? The whole time we've been telling y'all shouldn't dress y'all daughters like this. Y'all had a problem. From elementary all the way up to high school, we telling y'all, y'all dressing y'all kids like hoes. Y'all had a problem. You shouldn't dictate what a woman wear. You should shut your mouth talking about women business. But now y'all mad because they're in college dressing like hoes. Now you see Your most educated of the bunch, you can't tell the difference from a street hoe. Now y'all mad. What? And this goes even further than the HBCUs. Look at Angel Reese. She is the face of black women basketball. And all she wants to do is be a bad bitch. Being the face of women basketball, being talented, dominant, and talked about because of your talent and the gift that you have is not enough. You need that bad bitch asterisk. Every time I see her, she's naked. And this is a representation.
And it's not to bash Andrew Reese. I think it's the same thing that can go for guys. Being good at your craft is not good enough. I got to be hood ninja. I got to fit a certain second. I need that status, that clout. I need that level of sophistication. I need to make sure I get the results. I need to have my name in the lights. It can't be a committee. It can't be a group. It can't be collectively working together. I need to be player one. I need that accolization. I need that admiration. I need to make sure people know that I'm making things happen. People need to know that. I got to say that I'm the man. Not be the man. I want people to say I'm the man. I want the accolades, but I don't want the responsibility. I want the pride. I want the love. I want the investment. I don't want them to come from me. What that tells me is this. You want the results that come with the labor, but you don't want the effort and the work it takes to maintain it. What that tells me is that you will do anything for the notoriety, very little for the investment it takes. What? It was so good to hear y'all tonight, man. Thank you for another edition of Live on Sunday. It's your boy King Carter. What am I working on, y'all? Book advertisement, Black Friday sales, end of the year events, wifey graduating. We got so many good things we got to hit on before 2024. Marriage retreat, writing retreat, quiet time. Got the photo, got the AI investments, man. I got so many things that I got working on. What I have to do right now going into the next year, y'all, I want to keep this momentum going. I got to continue to buy a few things today, which I'm going to work on. But I want to make sure I set off my foot in a positive direction. I want to thank y'all for the love. Thank y'all for the admiration. Thank you for the support. Thank you for believing in the vision. Coming soon, you will see logos. Coming soon, you will see purchases. I hope you can catch me live. Remember, thank you. Stay tuned. I love you. I appreciate you. Tap in, comment, live, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Live on Sunday. Until next time, it's your boy checking out. Hey.